Back again with another one. Bad News Brown breaking it down. They say the Coast Guard just made the largest drug bust in U.S. history. According to the report, they saying over 61,000 pounds of coke has been seized and 14,000 pounds of marijuana. And they're saying that this is basically equivalent to $500 million worth of stuff. So let's talk about this. Well, for one, I know somebody mad. Tony Montana, Sosa, Pablo Escobar, El Chapo, somebody mad as hell. Because although, you may say, well, that's just nothing but a chip off the old block. You understand? There's plenty more where that come from. But $500 million ain't nothing to sneeze at. Not $500,000, $500 million. That's a sizable loss for anybody. Even if you're a multi-billionaire, you ain't, hell nah. So that's for one. Number two, because Trump then obviously declared war on the drug cartels, the various drug cartels, and now they down in Venezuela, and they saying the president there, Maduro, well, the U.S. is claiming he's not the legitimate president. Not only that, and they're saying he's a major drug trafficker himself. So I don't know, man. A lot, it's politics and war, man. Obviously, the United States got their own intentions as far as how they want the drug flow to operate from here on out. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm definitely not pro-drug. In that respect, it's all good. That's, less dope to hit our communities. And now, although most of us, we in the dope game as a means of survival, we don't got no ship, so we ain't bringing it in. Although ain't nobody putting a gun to your head making you slang either. But at the same time, we don't have no say-so when it to that extent. Again, we get in as a means of survival. But nevertheless, you aiding in destroying your community. Now, I get it. We all do what we got to do. And, some man can't knock the hustle song and all that. But point is, I'm definitely not going to cry about that. But I just want to look deeper in things. And this is what this video about. Now, do y'all think it's going to be a drought? And they said this is off the coast of Florida. And we know Florida always been the main hub. Now, of course, drugs flow everywhere throughout the U.S. But Florida, as we know, always been the main hub. So that's not surprising. But nevertheless, will it be a drought? Who knows? I doubt it, because demand is still there. But, I guess from that perspective, you can't say we ain't trying. Again, like I said, it seemed like Trump did more against the war on drugs in the 80s in the Reagan administration. So, hey, I guess you got to give him some type of credit, you understand? And they mentioned the cocaine, and they said it was some fentanyl as well. And from the looks of it, it looked like, man, the USA, Uncle Sam mean business. Because he now will be good to see is what actually happens to all those confiscated narcotics. Do they destroy all of it, y'all? That would be good. That would be good for the sake of transparency of, hey, man, you know what? We about to burn it right here. Here, drop something on it and set it all fire, all 61,000 pounds. I'm gonna see if they do that. If they do that, then okay, then all right, y'all serious then, and it just don't indirectly, just get siphoned through the coffers And okay, 61,000, but 41,000 pounds still end up on the street. And they only destroyed, 20 for sure. As long as it ain't that, then if not, then it's pretty much just the same game, just being played different now. But nevertheless, something's going on, definitely. And 500 million ain't nothing to sneeze at. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care who you is. Even if you got plenty of billions and you got entities out there that is fairly wealthy, but I'm sure that got somebody attention. Period. Y'all let me know what y'all think. That's a lot of drugs. So I'm gonna see where this goes. I'm really see where this goes. I'm gonna see if Uncle Sam gonna keep the full court press on these cartels to the degree to where we feel it on the street. Now, if we feel it on the street, obviously, and again, the hustle done already changed in a lot of these communities or whatever, and not even necessarily for the good. But if it do hit the streets, then of course, probably robberies and jacks gonna go up. But really, honestly, y'all, in a deeper sense of it, especially if this is what you doing and this is your get down and you hustling, don't get me wrong, we do what we gotta do. But it's obviously writing on the wall that you're going to have more than one hustle, and you're going to have to start developing hustles above the table, because they turning up the dial and hard, they making it harder and harder, which brings up another thing. Trump already got the National Guard in D.C., and now he's saying they about to go to Chicago. And then he already mentioned he was going to come to the West Coast in California, Oakland, L.A., etc. So, let's check this out. Let's go down a rabbit hole for a minute. Because this could possibly be a move to box us in. Now, notice, according to a lot of people, the African American and already kind of turned their back on other minority groups. Now, that's the narrative. That ain't the truth. Really, what we did was we drew a line in the sand and declared who we was when it comes to being descendants of slaves, FBA, black, African American, etc., stolen African, whatever you want to call yourself. That was what we did. We ain't turned our backs on no other group suffering out here, because we can't. Even if we want to, we can't, because we've been oppressed the most. So we are the main underdog. It starts with us and it ends with us. So everybody gonna tend to look our way, because everybody know we've been through suffering. We know that all too well. We know oppression all too well. We know racism all too well. So we ain't turning our backs. We lead the fight of resistance of racism and hate. But the point is, as I was saying, being that the dope game is being, because good or bad, the dope game did provide a resource, even though it was to our detriment, but it kept a lot of cats going. Just like the rap industry, and they came and crashed it. So now the dope game is being reshuffled and shifted, and the plan already was to criminalize you and bring the criminal out, so that way when they do something to you, we can't claim racism, or it doesn't appear to be racism from the outside looking in, from other people looking. Because now we got the stamp of criminal on us. And now they just saying, hey, look at them. They in America. They can be working hard and doing this, but they just robbing and stealing. See, they natural criminals. They just got to, do something to them. They got to get rid of them. They vermin. You understand? But it ain't done by just thievery alone. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, though. But that's just really all we do is just, that's like a auto response or reaction to the racism, to the system. That's our way of fighting back, trying to get back at it, as Malcolm X said. But the point is, though, man, my main point, could they be boxing us in, forcing a lot of cats And again, not putting a gun in your head. This is why you got to think a little sharper, a step ahead. But putting you in a position of survival mode too much. We already in survival mode. Now you out here robbing and stealing. You can't even hustle because the dope game don't even move that way. So that automatically box out the majority of cats on the street. Only a select few, you understand, go even be in a position because it's going to take money to make money in that respect. So now you're going just out here on the street. And you ain't got too many skills. And a lot of the job game is shifting at the same time anyway, just due to technology. So the duration of things is changing already, so you ain't even going to have too many options there. A lot of us ain't in the practice of starting businesses and employing ourselves and really getting, you understand, the control of the community. So you're going to be the odd man out in your own community, man. And you see what they doing. They racking in these tent cities, man. They got ICE coming in deep. They snatching folks off the street. And they about to send your ass somewhere to one of these prisons, bruh. And not in America. Not the Pelican Bays and not the San Quentins. Not the Angolas. You going way down south. Somewhere out the way, bruh. Never to be heard from again. And I'm going down a rabbit hole, but it just kind of look like the opening stages, bruh. You understand? So you're going to have to really know how to wiggle. You're going to have to really know how to play chess. You're going to have to really know how to play ball without playing ball. The art of fighting without fighting. Silent weapons for quiet wars, overtly and covertly. You're going to have to know all that, bro. You can call it square biz if you want, but it's the shit you need to know. But yeah, man, I just see y'all went down a rabbit hole too far, y'all. Man, here I am. Coming to tell y'all about the biggest bust in U.S. history, biggest cocaine bust, man, over 61,000 pounds of that. You know, I know all my gangsters is drooling. With Mac 10 say Jack is drooling, hoes gleaming. You know what I mean? But all jokes aside, man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. And I definitely ain't gonna lose no sleep, man, because most of that probably was gonna hit our community anyway, and it was gonna do more bad than good. So I ain't mad. It is what it is, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Bad News Brown breaking it down. I'm